Well, good day everybody, and welcome to another Fundamental Games game playthrough. Today we're going to be featuring a game called Wizards and Relics. Now, Wizards and Relics is a game that's not yet in publication, but it will be coming. And in this game, you are a wizard. Welcome to Relzaria, a land where magic flows through everything. In this world, wizards of all sorts battle one another for a spot in the Hall of Immortality. These mighty wizards wield ancient and powerful relics to accommodate their magical prowess. Within this realm, there are also archaic ruins called shrines that emanate magical power, granting wizards with an array of magical advantage. You get to choose your wizard, choose your relic, and begin your quest toward the Hall of Immortality. Glory awaits. And so right now, we're going to do a quick review of what is in this game. Let's take a look here. We have a deck of shrines. These shrines are going to affect all players in the game as they're revealed. And so what will happen is in the course of play, a shrine will be revealed, and that's going to affect everybody at the table. Depending on what wizard they might have or relics they might have, it could have different effects on them. So those are shrines. They don't get dealt out to players. Then we have a deck full of wizards. So there are green wizards. If we take a look through it, green wizards are very nature-based, and they enjoy manipulating relics, from what I understand. There are red wizards. All kinds of different pyrotechnics looks like goes on here. Fancy pants, mediocre, lightning mage, fiery fire dancer. So there are the red wizards, and there are blue wizards. Take a look through here. We've got Seekers, Farseers, Mystic Joe. They seem more mentalist wizards than the red wizards, which are more throw magic in your face kind of wizards. And then there's a single Archivist, the Enlightened Wizard. He is red, green, and blue. So he is a combination of all wizards, kind of like the Gandalf of the deck, so to speak. So what would happen from there? Well, actually, all of these wizards get thrown together, including the Mighty Archivist. And they get a good shuffle. But that's not all. We also have a deck full of relics. These relics are going to be used in tandem with your wizards to battle one another. So there are scrolls, there's daggers and staffs, there's robes, wands, everything you can think of that a wizard might use are in this relic deck. So we're going to flip that over and shuffle it. And so what would happen from there is, once it's shuffled, I would, let's say I'm going to cut it into, or deal out, let's cut this into, we're going to cut it into half. So there we have 49 and 50, and then we're going to cut this other deck into half. All right. So we're going to play with 2 players, and each player is going to get 25 cards. The rest of these relic cards go away. So that'll form half of each player's deck. And then we're going to cut this once, take this off, cut this again. So essentially what we're doing is we're splitting the deck into piles of 25 wizards and 25 relics for each player. And the rest of these wizards go away. So we'll put those to the side there. And then those players shuffle up their decks. And what happens from there? Well, each player then gets a deck. Now I'm going to play with player 2 up here and player 1 down here. And I'm playing with both players because that's just how I roll in this wizardly realm. So now each player has a 50 card deck in which they're going to duel off one another with, and the rest of the cards are set to the side on the left. The only other things that are part of this game are +1 tokens, which will affect certain things in gameplay, so they're just there to represent that. And then there are player aid cards. So if you look here, it'll show you the 5 phases of the round, and on the back it shows you which wizard can defeat which other colored wizard, or gets an advantage, I should say. So red gets an advantage over green, green gets an advantage over blue, and blue gets an advantage over red. Rock, paper, scissors, my friend. So it's good to have those. I'll put those next to this player here just so we have a good visual representation of what's going on in a turn. And that is the game setup. We're going to get into gameplay here in just a second. Let me just double check one more thing on the rules. So what's going to happen is our quest is to defeat our rivals by secretly laying down a wizard equipped with a relic, and the highest power will win. There are multiple rounds, and each round will have a unique shrine that will impact the game differently, as mentioned earlier. And when your wizard wins a round, it's going to go to the Hall of Immortality. In a 2-player game, the first person to 5 victories, or 5 wizards in the Hall of Immortality, will win the game. If you're playing 3 or 4 players, it goes up to 4 and 3 respectively. So there you have it. And now we'll get into the game. So here we are. We've got both players with a 50-card deck. I'll shuffle them up one more time just to make sure. And we also have the Shrine deck, which we'll shuffle up. And now we are ready to play. So when you play a game, each wizard will draw 7 cards to begin the game. Now I'm going to play with the cards face up on the table so everybody has a chance to see what each wizard has. And I'll play both wizards as though they didn't know what the opponent had. So even though we're all going to see it all and I could easily base my decision on what one wizard has, I'm going to presume that we don't know. What are we going to call these wizards? Well, let's call the wizard on top Merlin, and let's call the wizard on the bottom Gandalf. So it's going to be Merlin versus Gandalf. Who would win in this scenario? I think we could all think Gandalf, but I guess we'll find out. So Merlin versus Gandalf. Alright, to commemorate that, we'll give Gandalf the Grey this giant +1 token, so I don't forget that this is Gandalf. Alright, so what happens in a round of play? Well, we've got this little cheat card here that helps us. So step number 1 in the phase of the round is we must reveal a shrine. A shrine is at the center of the table and affects all players. Now it doesn't affect them immediately, it only affects the color of a wizard if you play that color of a wizard. So in this particular case, if either player plays a blue wizard, they're going to draw a card for each blue wizard that's played in the round. So that's a quite little bonus there. We'll just double check the rules document, which is conveniently right here for us. And we'll double check how shrines work, because I don't want to misrepresent. Just have to filter through. So here we go, shrines. They give a magical boost to certain wizards. At the beginning of each round, reveal the top card, which we just did. That shrine will affect the wizards of that color for the round. These happen before wizard abilities. Some shrine cards affect multiple colors. So what does that mean? Well, what that means is we're each going to pick our wizards and relics, and before that wizard's effect takes place, the shrine effect takes place. So if one player played a blue wizard and another player played a green wizard, only the blue wizard would draw a card, one card. If 3 people played a blue wizard, then each player would draw 3 cards. So it's like a super blue wizard bonus. Alright, so we know what the shrine does, and what that does is it adds an interesting gameplay mechanic where it may incentivize you to play a blue wizard because you want extra cards. But then your opponent might know that you're playing a blue wizard. And there's another mechanic in this game. I'll pull it over here. I think I did it earlier, but we're going to make this a little bit larger just for ease of seeing when we're zoomed out. And this is basically a chart that indicates what wizard has an advantage over what wizard. So if somebody does play a blue wizard and the other player plays a green wizard, well then they have the green wizard has a +1 advantage. So just keep that in mind. Alright, so we have Merlin up top. What does Merlin want to do? Well, he has to choose a wizard and a relic to put face down in front of him here. So any number of opponents will do the same thing. Merlin has many choices to make. He's got a Fancy Pants Mage, Mr. Magical Maple, gotta love that. Another Magical Maple, the Artifact Snob, which ignores the opponent's relics. That's quite a twist. And Adam, the Arcane Adept, with a 4C5, which lets me stack my own deck. That sounds like a good thing to do at the beginning of the game. So not only is it a blue wizard, which you get a perk, but that blue wizard's going to let him 4C. Now, with that wizard, he gets to play one relic, must play one relic actually. So a Druid's Talisman, he might want to save that when he plays a green wizard. So instead we could play Grinwald's Goggles, draw 3 cards. If you discard this, each rival reveals their hand. So just by putting this here, I know I'm going to draw 3 cards. Now, that means my power is only 3, which makes me pretty weak this round, but I don't have many options. So then what I would do is I'd put those face down in this spot here. And now Gandalf would be doing the same thing at the same time. He'd be looking at his hand and realizing, I don't have a blue wizard, but my opponent might have a blue wizard, so if I played a green wizard, this mischievous merchant would get a +1, so that would make her worth 3 all by herself. And I could even swap relics. Now, if rival's red, that's worth 3, but otherwise it's a 0. We have a jeweled staff. My wizard is not devoted, it's enlightened. Or we could give it a sword of the forest and really make sure that we come out on top. So let's go with that play, the mischievous and a sword of the forest. So we would flip those over when we put them face down. And what would happen is we would both, or all 4 players, or however many players are playing, would each reveal their hands at the same time. And there we have it. That's going to be the face-off here. So how do we know which player's effect goes first? Well, let's see if we have a round impact there. There's the setup. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. Lay a wizard. So they both play their wizards at the same time. The only thing I don't know is the sequence of who it happens to first. And maybe I'm just going to have to choose that at this point in time. The player who looks most wizardly starts the first round as the Master Wizard. This means that players perform their abilities first and goes clockwise from there. After the first round, the Master Wizard is determined by who won the last round. And there are cards in this game that refer to the Master Wizard. Now, because I'm a little bit biased towards Gandalf, we're going to call this the Master Wizard card. So I know that this is the Master Wizard, so all things happen to this wizard first. So first we look at the shrine. Does the shrine apply to the Master Wizard? No, it does not. So then the shrine must affect other players. Adam the Arcane Adept is a blue wizard, so this player is going, or Merlin is going to draw a card because there's one blue wizard played this round. So bonus card, cha-ching. Then we go back to Gandalf and we look at his wizard power. So he could exchange a relic he controls with a rival or play an additional relic from his hand. Now looking at the table, doesn't really want Grindelwald's goggles because then I'd be tied, and I don't want to tie, I want to win. And I don't really need to play an extra one for my hand, so that bonus is not necessary. Right now I have 2 plus green over blue is an extra 1, so this is a 3, 4, 5 against a visible 3 over here. Now this guy's going to get +1 for each card they've drawn this round, so this guy's already a 4, and he's about to draw 3 more. So now that the green wizard has looked at that, wait. Reveal shrine, play wizard, reveal wizard, then relic. Oh. So this is how it would normally play out. First, the wizards are revealed, and you don't know what relic is there, so there's still an element of uncertainty. So I could exchange a relic I control, this one here, with a rival, or play an additional relic. So not knowing what was going to happen, I might have assumed that he had a powerful relic, and I could still play an additional one. So let's say I'm going to be uncertain and play that. Alright. And then this player takes their blue step, so they draw their card, and then they get to 4C5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's a 4C, and then there's a 4C rival. 4C rival would affect your opponent. You'd get to dig through their deck. A 4C regular means that I look at my own deck, and I get to pick any cards I want and leave them on top in any order, and any cards I want and put them on the bottom in any order. That's quite the Arcane Adept power there. And then I'm going to draw another card afterward. So whatever card I pick up. Really big pipe looks pretty useful. Draw a card, +1 per card. I like that. So we're going to put the wizard hat and the potion on the bottom. And we're even going to put this on the bottom, because we hope that there's better stuff in our deck. So we'll put that there, but we're going to keep the pipe and the portal up top, and we'll put them like that. And once I've done my 4C5, I will draw a card. So now I've drawn 2 cards this round, which means Adam the Arcane Adept is already a 5. Then we go into the reveal relics phase of the turn. So we look at this card here, play wizard and relic, reveal wizard, then relic. So now we know green has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not devoted, so just a 6 against this wizard. But now that their relic is revealed, they get to draw 3 cards. So they've already drawn 2 cards. Now they've drawn a total of 5 cards. Adam is cackling madly. Wahaha! You don't know my wizardly strength. He's actually drawn 5 cards this turn, so he's an 8 this turn. Merlin knows what he's doing. And though he can't use any of these cards, just the fact that he had them gave him that strength. So that means Merlin's Adam the Arcane Adept has defeated Gandalf's Mischievous Merchant. So what happens from there? Well, what happens from there is the victory takes place. So Adam goes into the Hall of Immortality, and Merlin scores his first victory point. And in a 2-player game, the first person to 5 is the winner. Now Gandalf's card just goes into their discard pile, and the Master Wizard token is now going over to Merlin. But we're not done yet, because first, anybody that has more than 7 cards must discard down to 7 cards, so this makes it so you can't hold half your deck in your hand. So Merlin, even though he's laughing maniacally because he's drawn so many cards, must get rid of some. Could get rid of the really big pipe, which I'm sure Gandalf would have liked. You've got quite a few little wizards poking around. A druid's talisman +2 if a wizard is green, otherwise useless. Let's bail out on... Wow, got the Archivist, the most powerful wizard in the whole game. We're going to get rid of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards. Still 2 more to get rid of. So many. Get rid of 1 of these green ones. Got a 5 there. Almost a guaranteed victory with that one. Let's get rid of that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards. Okay. So this player now has 7 cards. The loser gets to draw 2 cards. So they get a little bit of a loser's bonus. Gandalf has learned something from his loss, hoping to gain. And then the winner can choose either a loser's relic or draw a card. So I lose my relic, but I could either choose to draw a random card, bring me up to 8 cards, or I could take one of these relics. Now each of these is only worth a guaranteed 1 and a possible 2, so I'm going to pick the top card instead. Merlin likes new magic. Ooh, go gadget wizard hat. So these other relics will go to the discard pile. And we're on to the next round. Again, in a 5-player game, somebody needs to win 5 of these, so it's not like Gandalf's out of the game yet. But let's move on. We now must reveal a new shrine, because it's a new round of play. And the shrine says blue or red wizards have a bonus this turn. A red wizard gets +1 strength, or power, and a blue wizard gets to foresee their rival and draw a card from that player's deck, so a double advantage there. So chances are neither player is going to play a green wizard, which means it's probably safe to play blue, and blue would be better than red. Always got to think a few steps ahead. I'm a poet. I'm a wizard poet. Who knew Merlin was a wizard poet? Only you. Alright, Fancy Pants Mage, Artifact Snob, Mr. Magical Maple, or the Elvish Thought Leader are all possible wizards. And then the Archivist. So the Archivist is red, green, and blue. To play, there must be red, green, and blue wizard in any Hall of Immortality. So this card is basically stuck in this player's hand. So we'll just keep that off the table and decide what we're going to do here. You can play an additional basic relic from your hand, and you can see an item as basic if it says so underneath a really big pipe. So that pairs up well with an extra arm. Now, and we know blue is going to let you play around with your opponent's deck. Red's going to give you a bonus. I'm not going to take the red bonus. We're going to go with a blue wizard and this fancy extra arm. Alright, then we go back to Gandalf, who was thinking about his turn the whole time, but now we've got to think it out. There's a Danielle, the dancing druid. They can exchange control of relics and play. That could be handy if I had a lame-o relic that, and my opponent's not red. We're not going to know that, but that's an option. Voice of the Forest. worth an 8, which looks big at first, but -1 for each card in your hand, so guaranteed I'm going to have 4 cards in my hand, which means this is really only a 4. Fiery Fire Dancer. Draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. Could be useful to kind of seed out my hand, but give a chance that the opponent could get a 0. I would think about that. And not knowing my opponent's base wizard. So here I might end up with anywhere between 3 to 5, depending on my opponent's relic. And here I guaranteed a 4. So, or, oh, if any rival is red. So we know for sure that they won't get a bonus if we give them that. Let's go with that mentality. Let's go with this trickster wizard and passing a baton. Okay. So there we go. Now we reveal wizards, and the master, which is Merlin, gets is a blue wizard. So they're going to foresee rival 2 and then draw a card. So what they're going to do is they're going to look at the top 2 cards and decide which ones they want to put on top and which ones they want to put on bottom. Searcher of any kind. Reveal any blue wizards from your hand. So we're going to give that on top and then that on top, but then we draw this card. I could have put one on the bottom, but this player thinks, the opponent doesn't have too many cards in hand. Gandalf may not be able to do anything with it anyway. Alright, then we go over to this player and it says exchange control of any relics in play. So we exchange control. So it goes like that. And then, oh sorry, wizard powers were next. So this player didn't have a wizard, this player did. Now we flip. The master wizard Merlin has Roktra, difficult to pronounce. There's no red rival, so this is basically worthless. And Daniel the Dancing Druid has a extra arm, which was kind of this player, Merlin's plan. So looking at his hand, unfortunately he doesn't have an extra relic, so all this Gandalf has is a 3 against 3. So what does that mean? Well, green actually has an advantage over blue by +1. So 1, 2, 3, 4 actually. So green actually gained the advantage there. So by not playing into these colors, took advantage and managed to get a point over the blue wizard. Never even thought about that, but that's how it turned out. So that means Gandalf has won the round, and Daniel the Dancing Druid goes to the Hall of Immortality. The losing player, since nobody has 7 cards, nobody has to discard, the losing player now draws 2 cards, bringing Merlin up to a mighty 9 cards to choose from next turn. Pretty amazing. And then Gandalf can either take this useless rod or draw a card. They're going to draw a card. Doesn't like the chances of that rod. Alright. And then we reset the round. There we go. Master Wizard moves back to Gandalf because he won the round. And we start a new round, thus revealing a new shrine. And shrine is based on a green wizard only. You may play an additional relic. That's a pretty handy bonus. So both players are going to look at their hand and decide what they're going to play. Now, if somebody doesn't have a relic, we're going to refer to page 15 of the rules here, because you must have relics. So what does it say? If you do not have a wizard or a relic in hand, you must reveal your hand, discard a card, then draw a card repeatedly until you get a relic. So it's a little bit of a disadvantage that I'm showing my whole hand to my opponent. Except Merlin's smart and already knows this whole hand because I'm Merlin and I am Gandalf and I'm the best wizard ever. But that's besides the point. So they are going to play. They're going to go with this green druid. Discard 2 cards. Draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. Oh, that might get them more relics instead of randoming. Yeah, let's go with that. So they're going to put that there, and now they have to reveal their hand, show they have no relics, and flip cards over. Oh, they have to discard a card first. So discard that, and then flip cards over until they get a relic, and that relic goes into play. So is that relic revealed? you do not reveal the drawn card, so the opponent doesn't know what this relic is. They just have to trust that I'm being honest. Alright, so Merlin was thinking about his turn the whole time. Merlin cannot play an Archivist because there's not a red wizard in the halls yet. In order to get a red wizard in the halls, they might want to play a red wizard. Or if they play their green wizard, they know they get an extra relic to play. That sounds like a good deal to them. So they're going to play their green wizard and then look for one relic. And then when the shrine hits, they can play an additional relic, but they don't play it right away. Rival wizards lose an advantage. So rival wizard is just, whoever's against you. Druid's Talisman sounds like a good one to play now. Alright, wizards are played, relics are played. The shrine power happens after the wizards are revealed. So this player does not get an extra relic, this player does, but they don't know what the opponent has yet. All they know is that they have a 3 and that the red wizard has an advantage over them and also has a 3. So it's a tie. So what are they going to do? For each green wizard played this round, so they know that this Ward of Nature is only worth a 1. Didn't discard any cards, so that's not so useful. We're going to go with the really big pipe. Merlin wants to brag that he's got Gandalf's pipe, so that's what's going to happen. Red wizard gets nothing, so relics are revealed. And Master Wizard affects their thing first, so this one says +1. If you lose, you tie instead. If this is revealed from your hand, which it's not, you must discard it. So the Oracle Stone is like a protection device. That was kind of neat. And so even though this Magical Maple has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 against red's 2 + 1 from the chart here, that's 3, 4, they lost, but it's still considered a tie. What happens when we tie? That means we need a second round of wizards. So each player goes through the whole setup again, except for they don't get any new cards to pick from. So this puts them in a spot where they're playing with a much smaller selection of cards. So now Gandalf sees a chance for the voice of the forest to have a big role in the game. So he puts it there. Meanwhile, he also must get another relic. So he's going to discard this mediocre mage and draw cards and discard them until he gets a relic card. No matter how good these cards are, that relic also goes face down. Merlin is deciding what to do. He's only got 2 wizards to choose from. He can ignore the opponent's relics or just have a plain old fancy pants mage. Did not discard any cards this round. +1 for each green wizard played this round. Rival wizards lose advantage. Advantage is this card here, by the way. So we're going to go with the red mage and this wand. And then we reveal. So we flip, 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 flip. Now, I don't believe the shrine takes effect again, so we're going to ignore the shrine factor. No, maybe it would. The shrine is still in play. All previous bonuses given by abilities that affect the entire round are still in effect. We're going to assume that the shrine will help this druid out. So this druid, technically these aren't revealed yet. The druid could play another relic, but you know what? We don't have any more relics anyway, so that's negligible. So now the Master Wizard looks at their stuff first. So they have a 7 because the only card left in their hand is a Fancy Pants Mage. So 7 + 3, discard 2 cards at random. Oh, never noticed that. So that actually makes him helpful. This is a massive 11. Gandalf knows how to rock with a druid like wizard. Meanwhile, the Fancy Pants Mage really has no chance. So they are going to lose the round. So what's going to happen from here? Well, first off, the Hall of Immortality gains another green card. So it's 2 for Gandalf, showing what it's like to get back in business. They don't get to keep any of these cards. Now the loser draws 2 cards because nobody has 7 cards, so nobody has to discard. Then Gandalf gets to choose. Does he want to draw a card or does he want to draw a card or take one of these. He's going to draw a card. Now, FAQ, if you have no cards in hand, the one thing I don't know about here is if it's immediately if you have no cards in hand. It says if you have 0 to 1 cards in hand, draw up to X cards. So right now I can draw up to X cards, where X equals 7 minus the number of wizards in my Hall of Immortality. 7 minus 2, I should get to draw 5 cards even before I choose if I'm going to take that relic, if I'm reading the rules correctly. Oh, Gandalf knows how to work the system. So he flips all these, and he's going to draw one more card. So hopefully I played that right. All of these cards get grouped together and go to the discard pile. And the Master Wizard stays with Gandalf. He's got 2 points. 3 more to go into the Hall, or be claimed the Great Wizard, the one to rule them all. Go to the next round. We're going to flip a shrine over before we choose any cards. This helps all 3 players, all 3 wizards, but in different ways. So, let's see. Alright. So first Gandalf gets, well, they're both going at the same time. Gandalf has wizards, Gandalf has relics, so he's in a good position. And the shrine says you can take a relic from a discard pile, or a wizard, or look in an opponent's hand and take a card. All 3 colors are beneficial. Which one do we think will help the most? And our relics, draw 4 cards. Interesting. We're gonna do the blue wizard draw a card combo, which I think is works well in this game. So kudos to the designer for that. And then this player, Gandalf, is waiting for Merlin to make a decision. Merlin staring at their hand. Ooh, that's kind of neat. Still don't have a red wizard, so I'm gonna play one of my only red wizards. And we're gonna go with this guy and this guy. Alright, so then we flip over. Oh, not the relics yet. So we flip over. The Master Wizard gets to do the shrine power first. So blue wizard, look at rival's hand and take a card. It doesn't say draw a card, but it says take a card. Well, Gandalf knows what card to take. The Archivist has become his. What a traitorous old wizard that Archivist is. And then Merlin gets to use the shrine. Merlin has a red wizard, so they get to take a wizard from any discard pile and put it into their hand. So any discard pile, lots of 3s there, or we can go into Gandalf's discard pile and maybe the Druid of Displacement we'll try. So that goes into his hand. And then we go to the relics, or the wizard's phase. So Gandalf is the Master Wizard, of course, as we called at the beginning of the game. He gets to draw a card. So that's the first card drawn this turn. And +1 for each card you've drawn this round. And that's ability stays, so I think that's going to happen if I draw more cards later in the round. So right now it's considered a 3. The advantage is also going to the blue mage, so this blue mage is considered a 4. The red wizard ignores the opponent's relics. Then we go to the relic phase, so we flip those over. So even though the red wizard ignores these relics, the blue wizard still gets the benefit of it. So the blue wizard gets to draw a card, plus a card, +1 per card for each card. So they get to draw 1 more card, and they've drawn 2 cards this round, so this is worth +2. So now the blue wizard is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the red wizard is a 1, 2, 3. They haven't discarded any cards this round, and they actually ignore the bonus of this, so put this aside, and that means the blue wizard really is only a 3. Oh wait, no, the wizard is a 1, 2, 3, and they've drawn 2 cards this round, so the wizard is still a 5. It's just, they would have been a 7 with that one. So the blue wizard is a 5, the red wizard is a 3. Gandalf is victorious again and sends his blue wizard the Gatherer to the Hall of Immortality. So what happens next? Well, we discard down to 7. 7 cards, good. 4 cards, good. Then we, the loser gets to draw 2 cards. Eventually Merlin might find his way back. He just had a lucky first victory, I guess. And then Gandalf doesn't want this petty potion, so we'll just send those to the discard pile, and Gandalf will draw a card. We proceed to the next round. We'll reveal a shrine. The shrine is blue, and if you have a blue wizard, you get to use this ability. If a wizard is devoted 2 + 2. Mediocre wizard. Just little hats. We don't have any red, so we're going to go with a red wizard, hoping that we'll be able to finish the game with an archivist. That red wizard will wear a red cape. Meanwhile, Merlin plotting his vengeance. Each rival draws a card. That's not cool. +1 if you have advantage. He could assume the opponent might want to play blue, so he might want to play green, and they can exchange the relic after. So I'm going to play the green wizard and throw this on there. Alright, the master wizard, they both reveal, and there's not a blue wizard in play, so they don't get that bonus. Neither does this player. Gandalf has nothing on their wizard. This wizard says you can exchange a relic you control with one from hand. So I control this one. I could exchange it for one from hand, knowing that this is only going to be worth 1. So I'm going to have a total of 4, and the red wizard's going to have a total of 3 plus whatever that is. I might be in danger. I don't have advantage, so it might be better to play the hefty wizard. So we put that there instead and put this back in their hand. Alright, then we reveal the relics. The red wizard goes first. They get to draw a card, and if the wizard is devoted, which it is, they get to draw our additional +2. So draw a card. And now this red wizard is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pretty big perk. Meanwhile, the green wizard is a 3, 4, 5, and the opponent gets to draw a card. So Gandalf has one with flying colors yet again, and gets a red wizard into his Hall of Immortality. Discards his cloak. The loser gets rid of their wizard and draws 2 cards. Then Gandalf had to discard 1 and get rid of one of his hats. He only needs 1 hat. Then he can draw a card or take this wizard's card. He's going to draw a card. The wizard's card goes to the discard pile, and we're on to the next round. So we put on a new shrine. Nice little power there. And the wizards get to take their turn. Now, Merlin's not dumb. He knows that he had the archivist, and he knows that Gandalf has all 3 colors in his discard pile, so suddenly he knows that the archivist is most likely going to be in play. The archivist is red, green, and blue. There must be red, green, and blue in any Hall of Immortality, which there is. It's going to have 4C7, which is huge, and then he's going to have another ability, so definitely Gandalf wants to win with an archivist. And what better way to win a game than to draw the archivist staff? You know, it's almost like it was meant to be. You saw me shuffle, right? I did not stack this game. Too hard to stack anyway. So Merlin's shivering in his boots. Now he's got a Master of Flames, which is pretty awesome. Master of Flames says reveal your relic and put it into your discard pile. Well, knowing he's up against the archivist, that's not going to win him the game. I think he's doomed. So if he didn't know about the archivist, Merlin might play a basically nothing. Literally nothing. Love how that was actually made a card. Congratulations to the designer. Pretty awesome. So that's how it's going to play. We're going to reveal our wizards. Gandalf, the master wizard, will 4C2 and draw a card. Not that it's necessary, but we'll play it out. So he 4Cs 2. Gonna leave them both in the bottom of the deck and draw a card. Good choice. Good choice, Gandalf, as always. So we put those there. This player gets nothing because that's not blue. Reveal our relics. Now this guy had to already discard that, so all he has is a Master of Flames trying to put fire to the Enlightened or the Archivist. But the Enlightened Wizard Archivist has a total of 10. And not only that, he would have also gotten to 4C7. And oh, didn't see that. Okay, let's read the fine text. 4C7. So we're going to just draw 7 cards. And then pick any we want and put them on top of the library. So we're going to put that one on top, put that one on top. The Ninja Druid, put that one on top, and put that one on top. We'll put these 3 on the bottom. Why am I doing it that way? Actually, you know what? Yeah, we'll do it that way. Alright, so the Archivist let me 4C7, which I did. Then I get to stack these on top of the deck. This on top of the deck. This on top of the deck. This on top of the deck. Then, if you read the fine print on the Archivist, it says, give a rival your relic. We didn't read the small print, so now all of a sudden the Master of Flames has 9 against the Archivist. And Merlin pulls out a surprise victory against the most powerful wizard in the game, thereby going to the Hall of Immortality. Alright, so what happens from here? Anybody with 8 has to discard down to 7. No. The loser draws 2 cards. Gandalf, the loser, he gives up his Master Wizard token, and the Archivist goes to the discard pile. And the winner, there's no relic to pick, so it just has to draw a card. Well, there was a change, big turn of events there. So now we're going to pick here. We've got a Pondering Mystic. Oh, first we need a new shrine. New shrine is for the Green Druid. This one only has 2. We're going to go with that. And a Mage's Mallet. And Gandalf still has a chance to win. Put 2 cards from your hand on top of your deck. So he's just a 4. Just a 4. Love how that looks like Magneto. Very cool. +4 if your wizard is devoted to. Devoted to means that you have a 2 power and you're devoted. So this Great Sword of the Weak is good for a mediocre mage. That would give us a combined value of 6. If I play green, get to 4C2 and draw a card, but I'm more worried about winning as Gandalf's than about drawing cards. So Gandalf thinks, the highest number I could get is with this guy and this guy. Alright, let's see what happens. Reveal Wizards, the Master Mage, neither of them has a Shrine ability, so now this Merlin gets to use his Shady Scavenger, could exchange a relic he controls with one from the discard pile. Has to be his own discard pile. +3 if your rival's red, his rival's not red. Can he do anything to get his number up there? He's going to assume that Gandalf has something to help his little red wizard. Draw cards, +2, +1 per card you discard, +2 each rival draws a card. No. Yeah, you could exchange it for that. So he exchanges that for that. Alright. And then, we go to the relic phase. So we have +4, so this red wizard is 6, this one is 3, plus now it's +3 is 6, so that has resulted in a tie. Gandalf and Merlin are going neck and neck here, but they've got to go another round. So all we have left for Merlin to play is his little Pondering Mystic, and his Pondering Mystic doesn't give him much of a benefit. Gonna go with that. Again, the opponent, Gandalf, doesn't know what he has, but Gandalf has a lot more to choose from, so he's feeling pretty cocky now. If your relic is enchanted, +1 and draw 2 cards. Well, That's pretty handy, but then it would only be 3 power, and he wants to finish off the game. So you know what he's going to do? He's just going to go with another red wizard and a hat. Gandalf's hat. So now neither wizard is green, so nobody gets to foresee 2. Then wizard powers, neither of them has a wizard power. And then relic power, +1 if you have advantage. Blue does have advantage over red, so this is an additional +1. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against 4, 5. Well, that's another tie. That's convenient. This is one epic battle going on to finish off the game, potentially. So now we have to go to a whole nother round. How are we going to do this? Well, this player certainly has enough cards, so they're going to go with their biggest dude. And they must... I'm going to give him that. Then this player would... Let's read this out. Eek, no wizard. If you do not have a wizard or relic hand, reveal hand and discard a card. Do not reveal drawn card. I'm going to assume if I don't have any cards that I just draw cards till I get a wizard, because you have to have a wizard. So I'll play my one and only relic and draw cards until I get a wizard and have to play that wizard. So then we go to the shrine phase. It's Merlin's turn first, but he does not have a green wizard. Gandalf does not have a green wizard. Then we go to the wizards. This wizard gets to draw a card. Wah, wah, wah. And +1 for each card you've drawn this round. So that blue wizard is a 3. Then this wizard, put 2 cards from your hand on top of your deck. So he's going to put that on top of his deck and that on top of his deck. Okay. Then we go to relic powers. Master, +1 for each green wizard played this round, so nothing. And this one is draw 4 cards. So may have had to put 2 on top of his deck, but now Gandalf gets 4 more cards. Alright, now we compare power. Blue and blue, so they have no advantage over one another. So Gandalf is just a 4. And the gather is a 3 +0. So, after an epic battle, 3 wizards strong, Gandalf is victorious, with Lars, the enlightened wizard, taking him to the Hall of Immortality, giving him a total of 5 victory cards. And that was one epic wizard duel between Merlin the Magnificent, and Gandalf the Grey. And his hat. Alright, and so there you have it. There was one epic game of Wizards and Relics. So Wizards and Relics is a game, it's not available for purchase just yet, but it is coming to Kickstarter sometime in the future. So if you enjoyed what you saw here, definitely stay tuned for that. And when it's available, we'll make sure to put a link in the YouTube video. And so what do I think about this game? Well, I always like to share 3 good thoughts. So first good thought is, look at this table. There is so much going on in just this one duel that we had. You saw how many wizards we filtered through. Out of a 50 card deck, I'm down to 18 cards. Merlin is down to 26 cards, so got through half their deck in this epic battle. And it went kind of back and forth. You never really knew who was going to win, but you knew that the decisions that you were making were going to influence that greatly. And some things came out of the blue as surprises. So I like just that huge variety that are possible because of a combination of the shrines, the wizards you choose, the relics you use, and even this little rock, paper, scissors wizard chart. It just adds that extra little thing that makes every decision you make have an impact on the game. So I thought that was a really cool aspect of the game. Second thing I like is the art. Just vector graphics, but vector graphics can do amazing things if you have the right person doing them. And if you look at these, each of these wizards has character. The names are cool, like the Nin Druid or the Elvish Thought Leader. And you know that the creator of this game knows a little bit about wizardry. They did some research, or they enjoy movies and games that feature interesting characters and kind of put them in place in some of these cards. So really love the art. And third thing would be, I just love the speed of the game. So there's all this variety, but the play sequence is really pretty straightforward. I mean, there's a couple of quirky things that you'll have to refer to the rule book or double check on, like we did over here. But for the most part, you know exactly how the round progresses. So Shrine, Wizard, Relic. In that sequence, Master Wizard first, non-Master Wizards in sequential or clockwise order. So just a very cool and easy to follow game progression or sequence of events throughout the turns. So I always like it when I can get a turn sequence in my head and follow through with it, and that's exactly what happened here. So kudos to the designer for that. Those are the three things that really stand out to me about Wizards and Relics. Hopefully you liked the video. Thanks for watching this epic duel between Merlin and Gandalf. I think we knew from the beginning Gandalf was going to win, but really was surprised that the Archivist got taken down.